All right, guys, we are live from the Brojo. We are reviewing The Dark Tower. I'm Kian Ibanez.
I'm Jay Oldenkamp.
Max Schooley.
Oh, and I'm Lindsey Mattison.
Yeah, Lindsey!
Hi.
Second girl on the podcast. High five! Woo! That rarely happens, by the way. Just letting you know.
Well,
Yeah.
that's cool.
I think the Brojo really scares them because it's.
I
Brojo.
do not feel the Brojo.
That's good.
I'm old, like I said.
Yeah.
I
You
fear
don't
not
look
Brojo.
old though, Lindsey.
Well, thank you.
You look like you're like 30.
I have a young soul.
That's good. I'm glad. I hope so.
Yeah.
So you guys, Jay and you saw The Dark Tower. If you guys want to talk
Not
about
together.
Not
No,
together.
not together,
No.
no.
No. But, Jay and you
First
saw The
time
Dark
I've
Tower.
met you.
Yeah. So.
Well,
yeah.
we've seen each other in passing.
Right.
Probably have.
Yeah, exactly.
So like the goal
Anyway.
is to like if I don't have time to see a movie, I hope someone else sees it so we can still review it.
Awesome.
Yeah. So.
It's good to know people.
It's good to know people. So what is the plot of the Dark Tower? The
I'd like
movie?
to say for like an opening thought though, of like just when you're starting to watch the movie, there's the little like symbols and like logos that filmmakers have for like like this company did this movie, whatever. It was neat to see that they had the Tech Corporation and the little rose and the scrimshaw turtle right before the opening sequence. That was a nice little cool Dark Tower reference there.
It was a nice little Easter egg. That, however, is not the plot of the movie.
Yeah, no.
So.
Yeah, thank you for that. That's a very interesting plot, guys.
It was a delightful Easter egg, though.
You got me hooked.
Does the plot fall to me then?
I'll fill in whatever.
Oh, okay, yeah. The general idea is we have a character, Roland the Gunslinger, who is on a quest. I don't feel that that's really shown well in the movie,
No, it's
personally,
not
but
really
not
shown
not at all. But the idea is he's on this quest to, movie-wise, save the Dark Tower, I guess.
But
Yeah.
it was more towards let's just kill Walter because Walter killed my dad. Basically.
Yeah. So maybe that's a little bit more what the plot of the actual movie is. It's a revenge film against this evil Walter, played by Matthew McConaughey, to
And
great
Idris
effect.
Elba
Yes,
plays
Idris
Roland.
Elba plays Roland, which a lot of people got really mad about, and
I think Roland. Idris Elba's a very confident actor, and I thought he did very well.
Well, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So-
And I mean,
Like as long as like the actor can fit the character well, then there shouldn't be any anger
race
towards
shouldn't be
race of-
exactly
yeah,
an
exactly.
issue at all. But Stephen King does have a lot of extremely white fans. So,
Which is weird
I
because
think-
Stephen King is extremely liberal.
Yes.
yeah,
He is.
yeah.
It's always been my weird thing about like
Yeah.
Stephen King fans.
Yeah. Anyway, circling back around here,
Right.
the plot of the movie, we have three big characters. We have Roland, Walter, and
Yeah.
the kid, Jake. Jake. Very important Jake, who, movie-wise, Jake's really kind of the star for me.
Like
It's
Jake
much more
is
Jake's
very-
story.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
And, like you start it and you see it's like I think it starts with a dream, right? Or is it?
it starts with one of Jake's visiony dreams.
And like, and they say the whole like all his dreams and stuff are because if you reference back to the movie The Shining, one of the first Stephen King movies that came out, it heavily relies upon The Shining. I don't really know if The Shining was mentioned within the Dark Tower series, was it?
Well, if actually,
It was kind of
yes.
implied. Like, it was kind of
Yeah,
A lot
there
of
are
Stephen,
a
yeah.
lot. There are a lot of
Little hints and tidbits to it.
threads. Yeah.
Right.
When we're talking about the book series, so it's officially 8 books.
Yes.
Um,
With a spin-off novel.
which is considered
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
There's 7 in the Dark Tower. Then there's
Yeah.
Wind Through the Keyhole,
Yeah.
which actually fits in after Wizard and Glass. But there are also a couple of short stories that tie in directly. There are books that tie in indirectly. There are characters that tie in directly.
Salem's Lot.
So, yes,
Yeah.
Salem's
Callahan.
Lot. Salem's Lot, Eyes of the Dragon.
There's there's a lot of
The
them
stand
that
that
like
I'll briefly
can
touch
like
into it.
really do go. And,
Yeah.
Like later on, even they're just referenced throughout the Dark Tower in small little tidbits.
There's a reference in the books that said this is Roland's original world that houses the Dark Tower is like the connector
Mid-world.
between
Yeah.
all the other worlds.
Right.
Yeah.
So like it makes all of his
Yeah.
books
Yep.
prior to writing the series quote unquote canon.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
which is understandable.
Yeah.
Which is kudos to him. I could not keep all my
No.
notes.
Well, he can't either. He has
Yeah.
hired somebody to do that for
Right,
him.
which is
He
awesome.
did- He did it all.
That's good.
yeah. He hired Robin Firth, who's like the super fan, and she has since been very involved in the comic books.
Which is awesome.
So cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So what is Jake's motives for this?
Jake kind of gets not even inadvertently sucked into it. From the very beginning, as you said, it starts out with
It's
one of
just
his dream
dreams,
visions.
like, so like you see like he has a bunch of drawings of his dreams on his wall, and he's having problems with like
He's that kid.
Well, this version of Jake is a little wackadoo.
he's a little bit older too than
Yep.
when Jake is in the book, but that's okay. But
Yeah.
like he's having problems with kids, like and I assume he's in like high school or whatever, and the kids like
He's 14.
it's okay,
in the
high school,
movie.
yeah. So high school, and like there's a kid who's bullying him and like takes away his notebook, which has where he draws his image, his vision and stuff. And like Jake just punched a kid, and his mom, and then his stepdad, because his real dad was killed in a fire, and his mom wants him to like, and his mom has him go to like a counseling, never go with a psychologist.
And maybe this was just me, but like I figured his mom was maximum 18 when she had him. That threw me
Yeah, she
off a
was
little
pretty
bit.
young.
She looked so super young.
Mhm.
That really bothered me for some reason.
I wasn't
And-
bothered. I was just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. To color my opinion of this, I read The Gunslinger when I was 12 years old. So I have been living in this world for a really long time, and I love the books. So I came to the movie a little bit biased.
Same.
Yeah, and a little bit biased, and with certain things in mind of how things should be.
Mhm.
And it did not go that way, which is fine.
Mhm.
I'm typically really good at separating a movie and a book and saying, okay, the movie is its own thing, but they've been doing so much saying this movie is a direct sequel to the books. It is directly connected to the books.
Like there was references and stuff, but like I don't think it was directly connected to the books.
It didn't have the heart of the books.
No.
It was missing the heart
felt
of the
rushed.
story. Yeah, it felt extremely rushed, which is incredible for a boring movie.
It's an hour and 37 minutes, which
Yes.
is a weird thing. Like
Yeah.
that's like I think its biggest
That was
fault.
something that threw me. Like hearing that this was supposed to be like a sequel, and then hearing from Jay that kind of more so just spanned
It just-
like
Has a bunch of shit.
yeah.
With just
I
centered
figured they
around-
would
It's
have made it
bits and
like
pieces
2
of
and a
like
half.
3 books.
Yeah, I figured
Yeah.
it would have been like 2.5, 3 hours.
And it feels like it should have been watching it. I don't know if you caught this too, Jake,
It
but
felt
there
long, like-
yeah. Well, there are moments where you're like, they cut something out of this scene. There is something edited straight out of this scene. This scene probably should have been 10 minutes longer, and it would have been even more boring than it already is, because it's really freaking boring.
The action didn't seem like the action felt like it was just bad. It didn't really seem cool or like what I was expecting. The trailer was like, oh cool, this looks pretty great. But like I watched it, it was like, eh.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the highest compliment that I can give this is that it felt like a Sci-Fi Channel movie, and it should have been a Netflix series.
It definitely should have been a Netflix. Yes.
I would have been super behind them doing Netflix series
Well,
of book 1 through 7.
I
I
also
would have watched
knew-
that.
Mhm.
That, like,
Yeah,
they're
or
going
even a
to-
sequel. You
or
know, even if
anything,
they're
yeah.
retelling the story. You know, because spoiler, they're retelling the story.
Yeah.
That's what this is as a sequel. They're retelling the story, but it's a sequel.
The constant thought when I was watching it was like, I know that it's just setting up for a television show that I think whatever network that's picked up the television show is going to do. I'm like, okay, so there's going to be more after this, but it's going to be set during or after Wizard and glass might die, I think.
Um,
But if you've heard anything about that?
Yeah, I've not read anything about that.
Yeah,
I've stayed away from a lot of the other stuff because I'm in a mourning period.
Okay.
As a man of the news, I have heard about this.
Yes!
Yeah.
Fill me
'cause
in!
They're doing I think I can't remember. It might be HBO or Stars. It's one of the channels where like it'd be
Where there might be boobies.
where there might be boobies.
Okay.
That's not the point, but that's always a plus. But to get people to watch if you have Stars.
Yes.
But no, like their goal is to either do a prequel series adventuring young Roland, or playing off after the book. That's at least what we picked up throughout the news that I have to sift through and read.
Okay.
But that's here nor there.
So this film was kind of a pilot/trailer for a series,
I guess.
which will
That was my
hopefully be a
thought.
lot
Yeah.
better.
Right.
I hope
I mean,
so.
you guys can go into spoiler territory now about things that you liked and didn't like
Sure,
about the
sure.
movie, because you got a good basis. on
Yeah,
it.
so really, really big spoiler. Where the book ends is Roland is going right back to the beginning. He gets to the tower and finds out, oh, hey, I've been doing this over and over again for forever. So, that is how this movie is a sequel to the books.
Because he's doing it.
Because he's reliving the same
He's
exact
reliving.
story.
Which is really...
That's irritating.
It's Groundhog Day. But I mean, it's really good Groundhog Day. I mean, there's potential for that to be neat. I mean, because Roland is this really important character. He's doing a shit ton of stuff to kind of keep the universe from unraveling.
Yep.
So that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
He's the last gunslinger. He's from a time which my take on it is Roland's time is in our future.
That would make
That's kinda what it
sense,
felt
yeah.
like.
Yeah, that is
But-
always what it has felt like.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true, if that's
From what
canon.
I got from it was like a medieval future
Yeah,
kind
exactly.
of thing was how I felt it was.
Yeah,
Yes.
precisely. Our technology existed, but has been forgotten because the world has moved on, as is said often in the books.
Yes.
So that's the world that Roland lives in. In the books, there's a lot of crossover between our worlds via magic doors. So there is this connection between magic and technology in the books that we kind of lose in the movie in favor of technology,
Yeah,
because
it's just
technology
straight
looks cooler.
technology.
It's just, it's no magic doors, it's just straight up portals.
It did have a demon, though.
There-
Demon in
yep,
that house. But
yep.
that was, like...
Alright.
Yeah, there was the house demon. Nobody had sex with any demons.
No, that's true. 'cause-
As
God
often happens
damn
in the
it.
books. There's no demon sex, but hey, if it's going to stars, we're probably gonna have some demon sex for you to look forward to.
Good.
So there's that.
Demon titties.
Possibly, yes.
What?
But then Walsh did have magic with, like, stopping glass. And
Yeah.
Yeah. Walter is a straight up
Yeah.
wizard in the books. That is who he is. He's in several other books, and he's
Yes.
just always this straight up, just asshole wizard.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was like this brokenly strong wizard that's just an asshole to everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
And I didn't really get that from him from the previews I saw even.
No. And I mean, I love Matthew McConaughey.
I thought he did okay.
He really did. But I feel like you have to know that he's been doing this with Roland over and over and over and over again to understand his portrayal of this character.
Yeah.
So he's bored.
He is bored.
Yes, he is bored.
He is
Okay.
totally bored, and he's cocky. He thinks he's always going to beat Roland, and they're just always going to be playing this game of cat and mouse, and he's always going to more or less win. So yeah, this Walter is pretty passive, pretty bored. So it's a big, oh my goodness, when Roland one-ups him at the end. So
he finally one-ups him. So for all this time he's been failing. I'm just trying to.
well, yeah, not even necessarily failing.
Failing,
I mean,
like-
Roland hasn't ever really,
Won.
to Roland's knowledge,
Right.
directly killed Walter.
Right.
Yes.
So here he kind of feels like he has, probably, and now he's going to go on to other adventures, which I'm really not sure what those are, because this Roland seems really unconcerned about the tower. as to where Book Roland, his mission
his
is
whole
to
thing
get
is
to
the
the
tower.
tower. It
Yeah.
is the tower.
Yes.
This Roland is just like, can't let it get destroyed, but really hate Walter, want to kill him because he killed my dad. I'm a shitty fan. I don't remember how Roland's dad dies in the books.
I don't remember how he died.
It's
don't
not
think
like it
it's-
is in the movie.
It wasn't really talked about, honestly.
Well, it
Yeah.
talked about like how his previous cadet was killed, his friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I didn't
like,
talk. I don't remember about his dad.
Yeah,
but-
and he kills his mother
Yeah.
because of Walter.
Yeah.
Because Walter's an asshole and is screwing Roland's mother.
Oh,
But
Walter is an asshole, yeah.
he is
Yeah.
such an asshole. He really is. For me, there just wasn't enough of the books in the movie.
No, there wasn't.
Like, well, I mean, it's 3 books, which is a lot of book to stick in
Yeah,
one
these
movie.
books
But
are like
it's
500
little bits and
pages long.
pieces. Yeah, exactly. Some of the stuff that really bugged the shit out of me was there's almost zero use of the high speech.
No,
we
like-
get little bits and pieces.
He talks a little bit, and then like Jake's like, "Yeah, you shouldn't be talking."
Yeah, people are gonna think you're weird. But I mean, really, if you go to enough Renaissance festivals, nobody would think Roland was weird. So, like,
Yeah.
his,
Oh, God, yeah.
his manner of speech is very proper,
Yes.
but his world had its own language. His world of his gunslinger world had its own language. He was a knight in his world, which we also get a little reminder of in the
So
movie.
it's like
that
the guns are made out of Arthur of Eld, which is King Arthur here.
yes, his guns are made out of
Yeah.
Excalibur.
Yeah,
Oh, that is
essentially.
so much bullshit.
Well, I mean that does tie to the books
Yeah.
because
I get you.
Roland
Reference to the
is
books.
Roland
Yeah,
is
no,
a
I-
descendant
yes.
of Arthur of Eld.
I get you on
So,
that. I'm just
but
saying, like,
It comes off really silly in the movie.
right. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
it comes off
you can't
super
make it
silly.
Or there's
You
like this
can't-
like stupid gun foo. He's like, "Oh, he deflects like the bullet or whatnot with his gun." I'm like, that's stupid.
Well, and we have seen that in other
Yeah.
sci-fi movies.
Like,
yeah.
I think there was one with Angelina Jolie and some weaving and shit.
Wanted.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that they did a lot of bullet throwing in that
Yeah.
movie, and it looked fucking stupid in that.
It
Something else that really, really bothered me in this, the continuity absolutely sucked. Roland's shoulder gets injured very early on in the film. Later on, after he's been treated, they're sitting on the subway. It's his other arm that's fucked up.
I never realized
Oh.
this.
Wow.
At the very end, the final battle, he's got that sweet gun belt with the
Yeah.
things. Yeah, it's totally full one moment. It's empty the next.
Yep.
It's totally full the next moment when
Okay, I
he
did
goes
not
after
notice
Walter.
this.
Yeah, little things like that. Just, I mean, like, this is why I say the highest compliment I can give it is that it was a Sci-Fi Channel movie.
Right.
Because
Ouch.
somebody was just not paying attention. They spent their whole budget on Idris Elba, Matthew McConaughey, and some nifty special effects.
And rat people.
And not even that many rat people.
No,
They're
there was,
all
like,
wearing masks.
Dude, actually had like the rat-looking faces.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, cool. Then, it did reference Dixie Pig though.
Yeah,
Right.
the Dixie Pig is in there. There's lots of 19s.
Yes. And there was the
So what are
roses.
good like Easter eggs then?
A couple roses. That's about it.
That's it.
No, there was
Yeah.
also the theme park was named Pennywise.
Yep, the theme park
And
was
then
named Pennywise, and
that-
it's also a little bit of a reference to Charlie the Choo Choo.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
I thought
the
that
train
part
was
was
Charlie the
Charlie
Choo Choo.
Choo-Choo,
Yeah, it was. I'm running out of Easter eggs
Well,
here.
I think
That's
I don't know. I
cool.
might be drawing some stuff. Like, when Jake made the Dark Tower,
Mhm.
and like he drew the little line stuff about Spider. Like, is that Spider the what was it called?
The dark kid, whatever.
Yeah,
thing,
in the last
Mhm.
book. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, it has to be a reference to that, or I'm just drawing stuff.
Yeah, it is. Well, and there's several other big spider things in Stephen King's universe.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
No.
He's got a thing for big spiders. He was very inspired by Tolkien, and Tolkien was all about the big spiders too.
Yeah, he
So,
was. Big spider people.
yeah. A funny little thing that was kind of an Easter egg when they're sitting in the emergency room and Roland's puzzled by the TV. There's a commercial with talking raccoons. Yeah, and Roland asks Jake, "Do the animals still speak in your world?" Which is a reference to Oi in the books.
The Billy Bumblers.
Yep, the Billy
Which-
Bumblers.
Oi is one of my favorite characters.
Oi is great.
And I missed
had a
that
rat
there was
named
an
Oi.
Oi in there. Or
Yeah.
was it Benny Dean or his wife.
Susanna.
Yeah. Or her other names.
Yeah, or whoever the hell she was at any given moment.
Yeah.
So, there's hope that we will get all of that in more movies or in a series.
Yeah.
But they could have really fleshed out this world.
So, final thoughts and your rating, we do a 1 out of 10. So, final thoughts.
Oh, that's I need a minute.
It's a movie. It wasn't good, and it wasn't so bad that it was bad. It's just kind of there, in my opinion. I give it a 3.
Ouch, that might be Jay's lowest rating.
No, I gave Valerian lower. I thought
You gave it a 3.
Yeah, I think you gave it a 3.
Yeah. It was just a bit more entertaining than Valerian, but it was just...
Oh, God.
It was there.
Yeah, I think 3 might be generous. If I totally remove myself from my passion about the books, I mean, seriously, guys, look at my tattoo.
Yeah.
For those of you that can't see me, I have roses and the symbol for Ka, which is not even mentioned in the movie and is very important in the books.
It is.
That really pissed off my gentleman friend. He loves the books too. He was not happy about that. If I totally remove myself from the books, I could generously give this movie a 2.
Wow. So much for wanting to go see this.
Yeah, as I have said,
nail in the coffin.
I watched it because Stephen King said, "Oh, he enjoyed it."
All right, I have to continuously explain this about people.
Yeah.
Anyone who has something made of theirs will stroke their own ego about it.
Oh, absolutely. They're petting their paycheck.
Right.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, I love this movie.
Yeah,
this
they
movie
gave me
was
so
good.
much money to let this movie happen.
Right.
It's excellent.
Yeah, I love this.
Excellent.
What did you think about the Dark Tower movie? Amazing.
Yes.
10 out of 10.
Brilliant
Just-
adaptation of my finest work. Blow me, Mr. King. But no, seriously. If I totally remove myself and look at it as the Sci-Fi Channel movie I believe it to be, I probably could have watched it and been like, okay, well, that was an hour and a half of my life that I'm not getting back.
So you're saying this movie plays after Sharknado 4 plays?
Yeah, actually.
Oh my God.
Before a replay of Sharknado 3, but after Sharknado 4.
Wow, okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
in the Sunday
I'm
lineup.
gonna go and jump off the porch now.
While Max
It's not
does
quite
that, I'm Kean Ibanez.
Jay Oldenkamp.
I'm Max.
And Lindsay.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. Have a good day.